Well, hey everybody, good morning. Happy Monday to you. I am doing live 9-Minute Monday a little early today because I'm traveling to Phoenix, spending a couple of days with some executive pastors in the Phoenix area, and I had to do my 9-Minute Monday from the airport. So you can see I kind of have, this is not actually like a set behind me. This is like looking out the windows behind me as the sun is coming up. So kind of a fun live 9-Minute Monday this morning. For some of you who were hoping to catch it live, I'm really sorry we did it super early because you're probably not up and watching it yet, but it will be posted and hopefully y'all can watch and follow along. Send us your questions. Let us know the things that you want me to be talking about on our 9-Minute Monday, because I want to make sure we're answering your questions and helping you lead well for the week ahead. That's the whole purpose of this. So today I want to talk a little bit about the subject of culture. And if you were with me last week, you remember we talked about the subject of self-leadership, which is really a big passion for me, is this idea that we need to lead ourselves well, that we have to have this healthy understanding of what it means to lead ourselves well so that we can lead others better. And specifically today, the thing I want to talk about is this subject of culture and the importance of culture and how self-leadership feeds into this idea. Because if there's anything that I've learned that we can't really do leadership alone, can we? Leadership isn't a solo sport. And so leadership, just by its definition, is an act of loving and serving others. And so the more that we're aware and conscious of how we're leading ourselves, the more intentional we can be in leading everyone else. So how we lead overflows to everyone else around us, and how we lead sets the tone. So in essence, how we lead sets the culture of our teams and of our organizations. So that's the thing that I want you to be thinking about this week, is what tone are you setting? What culture are you creating with your leadership? And I want to give you just a couple of little things to specifically be thinking about in regard to culture. Now first, culture is made up of the values, beliefs, and behaviors within a group. So think about that for a minute, because this is going to help you kind of get an understanding of culture. I know we hear a lot about the subject of culture, but sometimes we're a little confused about, well, what is it exactly? What does it exactly mean? And culture is really that collection of values, beliefs, and behaviors of a working group. And so everything we do flows from those values, those beliefs, and those behaviors. And guess what? As the leader, those values, beliefs, and behaviors flow from you. They're set by you. So whether you're leading a whole department or division or organization, or whether you're leading a team of volunteers, a division of your business or your ministry area, you set a culture, you set a tone for that working group. So, and John Maxwell says everything rises and falls on leadership. And so culture rises and falls on us as the leader. So in order to create great culture, we have to define it. There's three things we have to do. We have to define it, we have to internalize it, and then we need to model it. And those are the three things that I want you to be watching for this week. I want you to say, have I defined the culture that I want to be true of our team? Have I defined those values, beliefs, and behaviors that are essential for our team to succeed? So when we talk about those defining it, when we talk about values, we're talking about those things that are important to us. Like, what are those things that are really core to who we are, that really define who we are? And then those beliefs are the things that undergird those values. So for example, for me, learning is a big value. I deeply think that learning is critical for leaders. And that value is undergirded by my belief that we need to always be growing. That in the culture that we live in, things are rapidly changing all of the time. And so it's important that we're constantly learning and we're growing and we're keeping pace with that. And so learning is a big, big value for me personally. And it's a big value for our team at the Foresight Group, because we know that in order to serve the people that we lead well, we've got to be constantly learning and growing and finding ways to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the leaders that we serve. So the value is learning. It's undergirded by this belief that we've got to constantly be growing. And then we have to define how we're going to behave to achieve that. So you see how these three things come together? You've got to define the value. You've got to define the belief that undergirds that value, And then you've got to determine how will we behave to accomplish that value. So that's all part of the definition process for us as leaders, is we've got to define those values, beliefs, and behaviors that are essential for our teams to succeed. And then the second thing we need to do is we need to internalize it. This is the self-leadership piece, that we need to internalize those values, beliefs, and behaviors so that, then number 3, we're modeling them to the people that we lead and to the people that we serve. And so that's what I want you to focus on this week. I want you to think about what culture am I creating? What kind of tone am I setting for my team? And have I defined the values, beliefs, and behaviors that I think are essential for my team to succeed? Have I internalized them personally so they just overflow as an extension of who I am? And then am I modeling them consistently and with great integrity so that my teams want to embrace that culture with me, that they want to embrace those values, beliefs, and behaviors with me because we've defined it, we've internalized it, and we've modeled it in such a way that it's compelling and our teams really, really believe in the culture we're creating and the vision we're seeking to accomplish together. So that's your thought for today. That's your 9-Minute Monday for this week, is to be thinking about culture and how you can define it, internalize it, and model it for your teams. And I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'd love to hear your perspective as you go about the week. Jump back on the Foresight page and let us know what you learned, what you saw. Part of it is as we become more aware of some of these things that are important to our leadership, we start to see them in real time and we're able to respond and react and to grow with it. So I want you to be on the lookout for that. And then let us know how you're doing. Let us know what questions you have so we can follow up on it and keep encouraging and coaching you to keep leading well, lead yourself well, to lead others better. That's what it's all about. A last thought on this. We have a Culture Shock workshop coming up in April where we're going to really dive into this more deliberately. It's an intensive 2-day workshop on April 17th and 18th. So we'll put a link in on the comment section here if you want to check that out and join us for that and do a deep dive into creating extraordinary culture. We're going to do that then. So have an awesome week. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Mine started at 3 a.m. today. And I've already had one flight and I'm about to connect to Phoenix. And so it's an early day, but it's an awesome day. So praying you guys have an awesome week, and we'll see you next week for 9-Minute Monday. Thanks, guys.